Hello, and welcome to this video. I'm Marco, and today I'm going to show you how to make these islands in Blender. As you can see, we can change the height of the islands. To achieve this, let's jump right in and open Blender. So let's delete everything and open a shader nodes area on the left. Let's add a plane object to the scene. Scale it up to 1 kilometer. Apply the scale, and let's edit the clipping of the viewport so we can see the whole object in the scene. Let's also add the sky texture and increase the contrast of the look in the color management section. Also, let's change the rotation of the sun. Now add a subdivision surface modifier in the modifiers section and enable adaptive subdivision. This allows to subdivide the plane mesh the closer it is to the viewport. Don't forget to set the displacement method to displacement only in the materials tab and change the dicing rate on the viewport to 2. This allows for a more accurate result. Start by adding an object coordinate node and connect it to a noise texture. Also, let's add a displacement node so we can see the mesh being displaced in the viewport. Connect it to the material output node. Now scale the noise texture down and change it to 2D. Also switch the type to multifractal. This gives a more island shape. Add a value node and rename it to height. This will determine the height of the islands. Add a mix node and use it as a subtraction from the previously created noise. Now multiply by 15. For smaller details like rocks and trees, use a Voronoi texture and invert it by subtracting from 1. Multiply it by 6 and add it to the main shape. For the sand shape, which will be located underwater, add a noise texture set to 2D and multifractal with the following parameters. Subtract our mix node and use another mix node to control the multiplication. Now add a mix node for our shape, and connect the sand shape to it. Now add a map range node to control where the sand will be. Now that we are done with the displacement of the geometry, let's give some color to these islands. For the trees colors, we use a noise texture and a map range node to increase its contrast. Add a mix color node and choose 2 different green colors, one darker and one lighter. Duplicate the mix color node and set the color to gray. This will be the color of the rocks. To create a rocks layer near the water surface, We have to specify the interval of height, so let's separate the XYZ components of the object coordinates node and take the Z component. Let's use two map range nodes and to define the height range. And finally, let's multiply them together. Duplicate the Mix Colors node and let's specify the range of the sand underwater, then set the color of the sand to yellow. Now let's set the roughness of the material by adding a mix node and using our rocks layer as a factor. This will give our rocks some wet effect. Let's also set the different index of refraction values for the materials using another mix node. To add smaller details, we now use a Voronoi texture for small trees details. Invert it by subtracting from 1. Mix it into a mix node by using the rocks layer we previously created. For the rocks, add a Voronoi texture set to distance to edge. This resembles the shape of the rocks, and mix it in the mix node. Add a bump map and connect it to the normal of the principled node. We now have to add water. To do so, add a cube object to the scene. Enable snapping, enter edit mode, and move the cube down 1 increment. Now let's scale it up in the X and Y axis by 1 kilometer. Scale it up also in the Z axis, then apply the scale. Switch to the shader editor. Add a mix shader node and change the parameters of the principled node. Add a light path node and connect the shadow ray to the factor of the mix shader node. Also connect a transparent node. Add a volume absorption node and connect it to the volume socket of the material output. Change the color to a light blue. This is the color of light being scattered inside the water. Now add an object coordinate and connect a noise texture. Add then a bump node and connect the noise to the height. Finally, connect the bump to the normal of principled. This will give us the shape of the waves of the seawater. And here we go. You made it to the end. Thanks for following me. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Bye and see you in the next one. Have fun.